Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikalavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikalavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikalavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikalavarti Ujjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikalavarti Saunam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namo Namaha Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jaivantavarto Omkarana Jinano Jaivantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jaivantavarto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jaivantavarto Namo E Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Samgarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Upakara Jina Varano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Mandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Vasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are O Ekasuddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamaya Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathi Hare Jamanetra Tema Jnana Natikara Kanati Vedaka Jnane Jakaram Uday Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhivyo Om Namah Siddhivyo Om Sri Sudatmane Namah. Jai Jinendra. Today is Wednesday, 23rd January 2019, and we are resuming our class on Samaysar. We had about 6 weeks gap because I was traveling and lots of time. I was traveling at that time. Another time, I had a very weak internet available. So I'm sorry for that inconvenience that we went through. So now we are on stanza number 14. So we'll start from there. I'll share the screen first. So stanza number 14, we quickly recapitulate what it says in stanza number 14 to start with. It says to us that that pure that one second, hold it. 18. To start with, stanza number 14 is basically from faith perspective, Samyak Darshan perspective. Stanza number 15 is for Samyak Gyan perspective, right knowledge perspective. And stanza number 16 is Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra, all three perspective. So all three gathas, they have interrelationship that we'll be talking about. So now, what does stanza number 14 says to us? So it says eternal soul substance seen from different aspects. What are those different aspects? It's different from mode from the substance perspective. The modes present in the soul, and they are modes from the substance perspective, means dravya apeksha modes are different. Then second one comes mode from area perspective, shape modification, vyanjan paryay apeksha. Third, More from attributes perspective, means substantive modification perspective, means artha paryay apeksha. Thereafter, modes are the eternal soul substance is separate from divisional aspect of the attribute, means gun apeksha. And lastly, it will say the soul substance, eternal soul substance is separate from deluding mode, giving rise to misery and thereby infinite transmigration, means bhav apeksha. So, we are showing the eternal soul substance from substance perspective, from shape modification perspective, from attributive modification perspective, from divisional aspect of the attribute perspective, and then ultimately from deluding mode perspective. So there are 5 points are coming in this one, out of which we have talked about first point, in which we said that the leaf of the lotus tree, lotus flower, it is immersed into the water, but still water does not touch that one. That means me and me as a soul and physical body are appears to be immersed with each other, but still they both are separate. Then we are on the second subject. We are from the Vyanjan Paryay Apeksha. We are from shape modification perspective. And last time when we were there, we had a fairly good discussion. And Ankit, I have to say thank you to you because you insisted on certain point. And I was presenting is not the right perspective, and I have to check with experts back home, and I checked with Hemant Bhai and other people, and they corrected me. So we will just review that point again in a little bit deeper perspective, and then we'll move ahead. So, so over here, 5 perspective we have it. Now, over here also it says, means this is from, hello? Yeah, okay.
We're here, we're here.
Yeah, okay. So this is from Dravya Apeksha. This is from Kshetra Apeksha. This is from Kal Apeksha. This is from Bhav Apeksha. And this from Bhav Apeksha. So 5 points are very nicely Kunkun Acharya Dev has integrated in such a fashion that it tells us how eternal soul substance is separate from Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav Bhav Apeksha. So 5 important descriptions are coming over here. So now we are going to jump to the slide where we are supposed to talk about it. Okay. Slide show. Okay. So point number 2, it's from the Vyanjan Paryay Apeksha, means shape modification perspective. Let's talk that one, and then we are coming to the modal classification. Soul transmigrating in 4 realms of existence. Soul keeps on going from human to infernal to celestial to the subhuman form. It keeps on going again and again and again and again forever, that we have that we have gone through this transmigration for time infinite in the past. And what are those things? soul can go into the Devgati, means a celestial perspective. The soul can go into the human, means Manushya Gati. Soul go into the subhuman, Tiryans perspective, and soul goes into the infernal or Narki perspective. So soul keeps on rotating in these 4 realms of existence in any given order. There's no order. It can go from soul, from human can go to the hell, can go to heaven, can go to subhuman, and it can keep on going in any other fashion. So there is no specific thing that I will go from here to only celestial life or whatever. So it can go to any place. So now, this is a point number 2 says that soul transmigrating in 4 realms of existence. So, principle over here is soul is perceived in different realms of existence. Now, I see an animal, then there is a soul present. I see a human being, soul is present. I see a bacterium, I see a negod life, lowest form of life. They are all having soul, but they are perceived in different realms of existence. It can be in the form of human, celestial, infernal, subhuman realms as we know it. These are soul's modal form. Is multiform. So I'm seeing everybody through the mode. You are an animal, you are a dog, you are elephant, you are ant, and things like that we see because we see them from model perspective. Talking about this one, Gurudev Sri, one time on a Kshamavani day, means after Das Lakshan Parva, there is the day comes, it's called Kshamavani Day, means asking for forgiveness. So at that time, Gurudev Sri spoke one important sentence, and in that one sentence alone, he gave the essence of the whole Jain philosophy. What he said that if, bullet number 3, if if I as a seen anybody from modal perspective, then I beg your pardon. If I have seen anybody from modal, this guy is intelligent, this guy is dumb, this guy is rich, this guy is poor, this person, this is an animal, and this is all the modal perspective. If I have seen any living creature, then I ask for forgiveness because I believe that they all have soul substance hidden behind, and I had to have that substantial perspective to see everybody as a pure soul only. So when I have experienced myself as a pure soul, then I can see a pure soul in somebody else. So that way, he gave the message to us that to have a substantial perspective, first you must realize your soul. First you realize your soul, then whole world will appear to have, above all souls will look the same. They will be pure soul from substantial perspective. Such a great sentence from the deep, from the experience that Guru Dev Sri gave it to us. And so that's a really thing. So what we are seeing soul in a modal form. Eternal true nature of the self remains unique, inseparable form. It's an indivisible, inseparable, unique form. Soul does not leave its steady, eternal, undivided form. Soul remains like this even in the Nigod, even in the Abhavijiv, even in the Bhavijiv, even in the celestial being or human being or any form of a modal form of our soul. Soul does not leave its steady, eternal, undivided form. Multiple modal forms are not perceived in the eternal soul. Even though the modes are occurring into the soul substance, the acceptance of modal form is accepted, but they are made secondary. So that's what it is, that the modal forms are not perceived in the eternal soul, even though they are present, but they are made secondary, and only eternal, indivisible, unique, inseparable form of the soul substance is given importance. So, having said that, now when one looks at it from absolute point, then modal forms become secondary. Now, if I draw a line on a blackboard, a small line on a blackboard, that has its own existence. But then if I draw another bigger line in the next to it, then that quote unquote small line becomes smaller and becomes less important compared to the bigger line. Similarly, eternal soul substance, if it is to be made primary, then modal form, even though they are present, they are made secondary in nature. Remember, the modal form is not been discarded, it is present, but it is made secondary, and that's why it's called non-true. In 11th stanza it says abhutarth. Abhutarth means it's a non-true form. So modal form becomes secondary, thereby they are conventional form, and thereby they are non-true state. Compared to this is a big line. Because it's a big line, so the small line becomes secondary, and that's why it is called untrue state. Compared to that, small line does exist, modal form do exist, but compared to the eternal soul substance, they become secondary and thereby non-existence or non-true state. Remember, we are talking Samaysar. We are talking Samaysar means faith perspective. Means we just say, what is most important? What is the most important thing? I have to work on it. I am a thief and going into the house to steal the jewelry. I'm entering the house, I see the kitchen, I see bedroom, I see living room, I see all those things in the house. But they are secondary. I need to go to that underground vault where there is a money. So whole house is present, but they are made secondary, and that's what the point is said over here. That the presence is accepted but made secondary. Why we are stressing that one? Why Gurudev stress this point? Because in other philosophies they don't accept modal state at all. In Vedic philosophy, they don't accept modal form at all. They just say soul is eternal, pure, perfect state. That's it. And everything else that you can perceive around, they are delusion. Over here, we don't say delusion. We don't say mode is delusion. Mode is present but made secondary. So there's a major difference between those two philosophies. And so Jain philosophies comes out much ahead. Eternal true state is undivided and stable, and it has not come into the divisional form of modal existence. So modal existence, even though occurring in the soul substance, made secondary, and eternal soul substance remains primary. All these things we are done, so I'm just going quickly on that. Soul's mode by itself has changes of all four realms of existence present within. These modal forms are in different forms. Eternal true nature of the soul is undivided, does not come in the modal different realms of existences. When I'm a human, quote unquote human is a modal form. Quote unquote celestial being is a modal form. Or same way, animal form, a subhuman form, and infernal form, they are modal form. Right faith as well as omniscient knowledge occurs to those who direct their attention to the eternal true nature of the self. And this is the crux of the 14th stanza. It says that, do you bring your right faith? Faith. This is a faith perspective stanza. It says, when you bring the faith to the eternal soul substance, then the right faith is generated. So you have to consider that one important. Now I'm going to come to this point. Point number 2 means unique, means ananya. That ananya is different from mode due to extension into space, pradeshatva gun, shape modification perspective, spatial modification, vyanjan paryay, dravya paryay. So these are the 5 different names given to a given mode. And what it means, vyanjan paryay, dravya paryay, spatial modification, shape modification, or mode due to extension of space, pradeshatva gun. All those things, the point number 2 means uniqueness of the soul, ananya form of the soul is separate from these guys. They are same name for five different names for the same mode. What is that name coming from? We need to now come to the mode classification. What that mode classification? A single mode. A single mode can be from 2 different perspectives. A single mode can be having 2 possibilities. One, a mode coming from the substance itself, and mode coming from attributes perspective. So structure of the soul tells us that soul as a substance, infinite attribute, and there are modes. This mode can be represented by, this mode is represented by 2 different aspects: substance aspect and attributes aspect.
This is also, this classification is also abhutar, right?
I'm sorry?
This classification is abhutar, right? It's probably satbhut, charit vyavahar, correct?
Definitely. Well, right now we are not bringing, we are talking mode, we are talking modal perspective.
And my point is that all these paryayas are all in, whether it's a paryay you associate with a gun or not, still all in the same dravya, correct?
Sadbhut, you can say upcharit and or anupcharit sadbhut vyavarne. You are right. You are right. But what we are doing right now, we are not talking from the partial point of view perspective. We are taking only mode and we are dissecting and say, what is this mode due to? It can be from substance perspective and also from attribute perspective. I mean, substance also has mode occurring and attributes also has mode occurring. So what is that one? So when it's a spatial modification or a shape modification or vyanjan paryay, that is due to soul having extension into space attribute, which is a common attribute, means it is present in all 6 substances of the universe. So any shape that you see in any given substance of the universe, that is because of extension into space attribute, pradeshatva gun. Pradeshatva gun has its own modification, and that is called dravya paryay or vyanjan paryay or shape modification or spatial modification, because it is coming, because it's
Kirit, I'm sorry to interrupt. So then that's what's new, because last time I don't recall us saying that Vyanjan Paryay was a direct modification within Pradeshatva gun.
Yes, we have mentioned. We have mentioned that.
Oh, we did.
No, yeah, we did. But it's okay. It's okay to revise that one, because you remember why we are giving so much importance to this mode at this point, because substance is inert, attributes are inert, and any action seen in any given substance, whether it's medium of motion, medium of ray, space, time, matter, or soul, any of the 6 substances, the real action is perceived in the mode. So one has to know the real structure and function of the mode, and that's why this gives us little little introduction to know what is that mode what that mode due to. So over here, that mode can have mode coming from substance perspective because it has an area. Substance has an area. Substance has a pradeshatva gun. Substance has an extension into space attribute. And so substance is related to pradeshatva gun.
Your uncle, if you go back to, so there were 5 of these paryayas, correct?
No, there are 5 different names for the same paryaya.
5 different names for the same paryaya.
See, mode due to extension into the space because of pradeshatva gun, or it's called shape modification, what kind of shape that substance has it, or spatial means a shape modification, or the two, our Indian name, Vyanjan Paryay, or it's called Dravya Paryay. So whether you call Vyanjan Paryay, or whether you call Dravya Paryay, whether you call spatial or shape, they mean same. All 5 mean the same thing. Mean the shape modification. I see a table right now, I see credenza right now, I see computer, I see myself right now. They all have a shape, and that is due to shape modification because of Dravya Paryay, because of Pradeshatva Gun effect, Pradeshatva Gun's mode. See, Pradeshatva Gun is also part of the soul substance. Every attribute you take it, the soul has a knowledge attribute, so the soul substance can be told, soul substance can be called as an all-knower soul substance. Soul has a perception attribute, so it's called all perceptible soul substance. Soul has a bliss attribute, so soul is a blissful in nature. So these are the things we can, from attribute perspective, we denote the soul. So over here, we are talking Pradeshatva, because Pradeshatva is only in a given substance. Table has a shape, this piece of paper has a shape, my glasses has a shape, so on and so forth. So every substance, they have the shape due to Pradeshatva Gun, and Pradeshatva Gun means extension into space attribute is a common attribute present in all 6 substances. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Because remember, this is the fundamental thing, and if it is not clear, we will keep on talking till it becomes clear. Yeah. Okay. So now,
but when we had, do you remember when we had that slide where there were 5 different kinds of paryayas for each, or sub-paryayas for each karya? Do each of those different paryayas connect to a different?
This is coming here. This is coming here right now.
Okay.
Yes. And we had a lots of discussion occurred over here, and it was beautiful discussion, because if there is no discussion, then it becomes dry talk only. But here we had a lots of discussion. So here, mode has 2 forms. One is called shape modification, called Vyanjan Paryay, or called Dravya Paryay, or is substance mode from substance perspective. And that is only because of the space extension into space, means Pradeshatva Gun perspective. So if I take a mode of a substance giving shape to me, this has a certain shape, and because it's a certain shape, that means it is due to Pradeshatva Gun, or it's called Dravya Paryay. Now it may have a different paryay over here. It may have a different paryay when I fold the paper. So they are Pradeshatva Gun modification, and that's why it's called substance modification. And contrast to that, it's called substantive or attributive or orthoparyay. This is Vyanjan paryay, shape modification. This is orthoparyay. Means
Is that a paryay of dravyatva gun?
Dravyatva gun has a possibility. Dravyatva gun's job is to create a dravyatva dravavu. Dravavu means every substance has a mode at a given samay, and that is due to dravyatva gun, substancehood attribute, which is a common attribute. So, do I have a mode every samay? Yes, that's because of dravyatva gun. Does the nigot cell, living being, has a mode? Yes, that's because of dravyatva gun. Does Siddhi Bhagwan has a mode? Yes, because Siddhi Bhagwan is a substance, so they have to have mode, and that mode is because of dravyatva gun. Dravyatva gun means just to make sure that every substance has a given mode at a given time, period. So that's so it's an entirely separate issue that to worry about. Here we are talking orthoparyay. Orthoparyay means infinite attribute present in a given substance, out of which only we are taking out extension to space attribute, and we are denoting that one to the substance. And over here, rest of the attributes, they are making mode, and that's called orthoparyay. So, all the attributes are divided in two parts. One is a pradeshatva gun, and rest of all the attributes over here. Pradeshatva gun will give me dravya paryay, and rest of the attribute will give me orthoparyay. The substantive name is kind of deceiving. Let's concentrate on
they're the same thing. Vyanjan,
yeah, but attributive. We'll make it attributive.
I'm sorry to harp on this, but why does
divisions made?
What is the Pradeshatva? Why is Pradeshatva gun special?
Yeah. Yes.
Why are we pairing all of these other infinite guns into the Arth Paryay, but we're isolating Pradeshatva gun in Vyanjan Paryay? What's the big deal?
Because Pradeshatva gun gives the shape to a given substance. Any substance you take it, the briefcase you take it, the credenza you take it, the pillow you take it, they have a shape. Why the shape? Why that shape? Because of the dravya paryay. The dravya itself has made modification there. And how did dravya make the modification? Because of the pradeshatva gun. Dravya also has made the modification of knowing, and that's because of a knowledge attribute. But this is space. Dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, bhav. When we put all kshetra area, kshetra perspective, area perspective, that means a dravya will come in the picture. That's what the literature tells us, that we are dividing mode in the two forms, dravya perspective and gun perspective, substance perspective and attribute perspective. Substance perspective mode is called Vyanjan paryay or dravya paryay or spatial modification or shape modification. And Artha paryay is called attributive perspective. So if you take a mode is an indivisible, one samay mode. You take into the lab and dissect it, theoretical possibility, dissect it, then you will see modification from pradeshatva gun. You will see the modification from knowledge attribute, from faith attribute, from conduct attribute, from bliss attribute, and so on and so forth. Every attribute will be present in the form of mode in a indivisible single mode. And that's why, a little digression, that's why what happens, suddenly I'm sitting doing nothing, and I say, when I was in Chennai, I met that person. Now, where did that information come from? Because my knowledge attribute has a mode, and in that knowledge portion of the mode, every information from previous lives is hidden there. It's present there, and that's why we call it sanskar. And that's why if Gurudev said, if you do the study, 6 months intense study of this spirituality, number one, there is a very good chance you are going to get a Samyak Darshan. Now, when he says intense study, means study and application of those principles, that's called study. Now, if suppose Samyak Darshan did not happen, that quote unquote sanskar means that impression from this life will be carried away to the next life, and your progress will continue as long as you are 5 sense sentient being. So it means that if one given mode has all the past impression hidden inside. Why do you get the dream in which you may say, I never thought of this thing before? How did that occur? Because it is present in your each and every mode. That information is tightly packed there. Mataji means Bensri Ben. She got the knowledge from the previous life, recollection of the knowledge from the previous life. And she said, I was in the Modification Kshetra, and Gurudev also was there, and they were 4 friends were there, and all those 4 friends met in Songad again this life, and she remember all those things because their knowledge is hidden in each and every mode. So over here, coming back to this point here, so shape modification occurs in a substance, and attributive modification occurs in all the rest of the attributes. Now the broad
Kirit, uncle?
Yes, go ahead.
So sorry. Just wanted to clarify these 2 points. Just a few minutes ago, you said that shape modification, Vyanjan Paryay, no synonym, Dravya Paryay thai.
Because, yes, it's called Dravya Paryay, but Dravya Paryay because of what? Because of extension into space attribute. Remember,
so Dravya no earth, Dravya no earth space extension karano?
No, extension to space. It's like a Pradeshatva gun. Pradeshatva gun thi Dravyani Paryay thai. Because Dravya also has Paryay and attribute also has Paryay, but Dravya Paryay because Dravya denotes that activity to Pradeshatva gun. Because Dravya is collection of all the attribute. What's the definition of Dravya? Dravya is collection of infinite attribute. That's it. Dravya is not a separate thing.
Right. I guess my confusion is Dravya Paryay koi ke to in a sukam it should, I feel like the right side, earth Paryay. No, the whole collection, everything should be called Dravya Paryay. But Dravya Paryay ne Vyanjan Paryay ke space modification ne alag padu.
Yeah. Because every substance has some sort of shape. Let's say I'm the human being. What's my shape? Well, 5'6" or if I'm a shorter person or taller person, that kind of shape I'm carrying. What about the devil? What about the angels? What about animals? They have the shape. What about the plants? They have the shape. So these are the living being we are talking. Now matter. Does the credenza has a shape? Does the pillow has a shape? Yes, they have a shape. So matter also has a shape. Does medium of motion has a shape? medium of rest has a shape. Yes, they have the shape which is as much as the whole cosmic space. Lokakash Praman, medium of motion and medium of rest, they have this shape. Now, when we talk about time unit, what's the shape of the time unit? The shape of the time unit is actually same as a one space point area. And what about a space having the area? Space is a huge cosmic space and transcosmic space. So it's a huge, huge, huge thing. So that is also having the shape. So everything, every substance has a shape. And so how do what is that shape due to? Due to substance. What is that substance having shape due to? Because of extension into space attribute. Because remember, the substance is nothing. For example, I say this is a flower. This is a flower. Now, what is that flower? If I take the stem out, if I take the little leaves out, and I take the petals out, what is there? There is nothing. You cannot say that there is a substance now, because you just separated a collection of all those things is called flower. Collection of all the attribute is called substance. So substance is nothing but collection of the attribute. So anything you want to denote to a given substance, then you have to take the help of a given attribute. So over here, shape is due to the extension to space attribute Pradeshatva Gun. Knowledge, soul is called all knower soul substance. How do I know all knower soul substance? Because of the presence of knowledge attribute. Soul is a blissful bunch of blissful nature soul. What is the blissful nature coming from? Bliss attribute. And so on and so forth. So you have to vastutva gunthi, soul is called vastu. Dravyatva gunthi, soul is called dravya. Like that, you know. So soul is nothing. It depends on the attribute. So soul says, I have a shape. Where is that shape coming from? Where it's coming from? Pradeshatva Gun. Does it make sense?
Yeah, and just this is. So the Vignan Gan no shape is Vanjan Paryay?
Yes. Vignan Gan no shape, if you want to say shape, when you use the word shape, that will be, it is called Vyanjan Paryay. Now, does the Siddha Bhagwan has any shape? Yes, Siddha Bhagwan also has shape, because the last human being, that was the one before the liberation, whatever shape of the human being was there, that's the same shape that will be carried, and Siddha Bhagwan will have that kind of shape. Minus certain less, certain percentage less, because lungs have air, intestines have air and everything. So if you take those things out, then let's say I become Siddha Bhagwan, instead of 5 feet 6 inches, it will be less than, say, maybe 4 feet, or God knows whatever. It will be less, and that is called shape of the Siddha Bhagwan. Siddha Bhagwan, prior to becoming Siddha, he could be in the meditative posture, in a sitting posture or standing posture. So if you see lots of Bhagwan's picture, it will be in sitting posture. Or if you see Bahubali Bharat pictures, they'll be in the standing posture. Lots of Muniraj obtain nirvana in standing posture, so they'll be in the standing posture. So shape has nothing to do, because Rishabdev Bhagwan has a 500 dhanus height, and Mahavir Swami has a 7 hath, means 7 feet basically, 7 feet height. So Mahavir Swami occupies that 7 feet, and Rishabdev occupies 500 area. So it does not make any difference as per the knowledge is concerned, as per rest of the attributes are concerned. They have exact same omniscience knowledge, same omniperception, same perfect conduct, and same faith and everything. So shape has no other relationship except it is there. That's it. Does it make sense? If the question, then please interrupt. Don't worry about it. This is very important that we understand, because this is the basic principle and on which our spirituality will be built. So when we say dravya paryay, means it is related to the pradeshatva gun, period. When we say artha paryay, means every other attributes combined together, they are called artha paryay. Are you with me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So now that we made two broad classifications, there are subdivisions coming. Shape modification means Vyanjan Paryay, means Dravya Paryay is called natural shape modification, or it's called alienated shape modification. Means the Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay, or Vibhav Vyanjan Paryay, or Swabhav Dravya Paryay, or Vibhav Dravya Paryay. What does those mean? Means when we say natural shape modification, means the modification, the mode coming as a natural shape without dependency on any alien objects of the universe. Shape of a given substance coming out naturally without dependence on any other alien objects of the universe, then it's called natural shape modification. So if we take Siddha Bhagwan right now, Siddha Bhagwan is devoid of all the karma particle. There is no bondage or inflow of any karma particle at all in the Siddha Bhagwan. Siddha Bhagwan is a pure form. And so whatever Siddha Bhagwan has is everything pure. All the attributes are pure. All the modes are pure. That's why the shape is pure. That's why shape modification is pure. That's why Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay is a pure. If we take, that's a soul substance, we took it. Now, if we take the matter substance, matter, atomic particle, when we take cube, divide it into, further into two, keep doing till you come to the last point, that is called atom, which is a free atom, which has no relationship with anybody else at all. It has no relationship with the other atom. Then this atom is called pure. So the shape of that material atomic particle, that is called natural shape modification for that atom. Medium motion, medium ray, space and time are pure forever. So their modifications are pure all the time. So their modes are called natural shape modification.
Okay, Kirit uncle. Wow. So I just have to, can you refresh my memory, please, for medium of motion, medium of rest, and akash?
Yeah.
And I guess God, those four exist in lokakash and alokakash?
No.
Sorry.
Medium of motion, medium of race, and cosmic space and the time, they are, along with matter and soul, they reside in the cosmic space, lokakash only.
Okay.
Once again, lokakash means area of the space, area of the akash occupied by cosmic area. That shape, that the man standing with his two legs apart and hands on the loin, that shape of the lokakash, when we see, that means it's a cosmic space, and all the six substances reside in the cosmic space. Now, there is also trans-cosmic space, which is an area beyond cosmic space. There is only Akash residing, nothing else is there. Pure Akash, pure space. It's called trans-cosmic space. It's a huge, super huge. Compared to that, the cosmic space is kind of a small dot in the center, practically. And that cosmic space, what does it include? If you just look at the 9 planets and sun system, and if we just go to the stars and beyond the stars, when you see the Milky Way, where there are infinite sun systems are there, they all are part of the cosmic space.
Barabar.
Yeah.
હવે અહીંયા you're
Yeah.
saying we're saying here that natural shape modification સ્વભાવ વ્યંજન પર્યાય
Because there
આપણે
is
આત્માની વાત કરીએ તો આપણા આત્મામાં કર્મ પાર્ટી but wait a minute, even though we are not in Siddhashila and
Yeah.
we're here
Yeah.
and we have karma particles, karma ekshetra karma vagahi atmama
Yeah.
but our swabhav vyanjan paryay is not affected by any other dravya.
Yes. Now
It is always pure.
yes. Now, remember, and see, this is the important point you are bringing out. Remember that, yes, from the faith perspective, my soul is pure forever and ever. But in a modal perspective, in my existence perspective, I have relationship, nimit naimitik sambandh, that principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship exists. And as a result of that relationship, I am occupying the gross body, physical body right now. So,
So that is to say that ekshetra vagahi means two different dravya are sharing the same
space.
same
Yeah.
vyanjan. Can you say same vyanjan paryay?
You can say that, no problem. And what is that Vyanjan Paryay will be? Because the relationship with the matter substance. Remember that relationship, both substances are pure same, but they have a principal cause, auxiliary cause relationship, and that's why it appears I am the body. I have put my ownership on the body. Today morning, I had a so-called allergic attack, and I was sneezing, running nose and everything. And oh my God, my nose is running. I'm sneezing. Wait a second, are you sneezing? But I have put ownership on this body. Something happened to the body, and it happened to me. So I have the deep-seated relationship established in the mind since time infinite in the past, even when I'm in Nigod's cell, that in a 1 second I'm dying for 18 and a half times and taking birth 18 and a half times. Still, that living being says, this is my body, this is my body. If I'm in the hell and I'm going through intense suffering, body is getting intense suffering, but I am getting intense suffering and I am getting problem because I have made association with the physical body. Erroneously, I said that this body is mine. So that's why I'm suffering. So yes, they both are separate, but because our soul has put an ownership on this body, and that's what the problem is. So Pravachan Sar, for example, will give the absolute relationship with each and every substance. But Samaysar, it's a faith perspective scripture, so it will always hammer you and say, I am the pure, perfect, eternal soul substance. And just bring your faith there, make everything else secondary. But their existence is there, modal existence is there, my relationships are there, even though they are abhutar, but still they are there. So right now we are talking from the structural point of view. We are not talking from the faith perspective right now. We are talking structural point of view. What is that mode due to? What is that mode having natural shape modification? Means they have no relationship. Siddha Bhagwan. Siddha Bhagwan, wherever he is there in the Siddha Sila and that adobe of the Siddha, at that time also in the same space point, karma particles are there also, but Siddha Bhagwan has total detachment from there. So Siddha Bhagwan does not say, this is mine, this is mine. This same thing happens to me, and this is mine, this is my body, this is my, because it's the same one area perspective. So I have my ownership. Siddha Bhagwan has no ownership on it. Karma particles are there, physical body is there. I have my ownership. Siddha Bhagwan has no ownership. So that's why it's called, his shape is called natural shape modification. Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay. Does that answer your question? It was very meaningful question.
So Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay doesn't, oh wow.
No relationship with
Swabhav
no
Vyanjan
ownership.
Paryay
No
only
ownership.
exists. Huh?
No ownership on anything.
So Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay technically only exists for Siddha Bhagwan?
That's it. In living being, only Siddha Bhagwan.
Barabar.
In the matter particle, one single atomic particle. It is no relationship with anybody else. So that is also called Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay.
Kirit uncle, this is a Pradeshatva gun is a Samanya gun that all Dravya has. So every Dravya has a Swabhav Vyanjan.
Yeah.
In other words, even if it's Ardharmastikai, also has a Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay, correct?
Because remember, Dharmastika, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they are pure by themselves. They have no relationship with anybody else at all. And so they are always having Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay. Soul and matter, soul is a Siddha Bhagwan and matter is a single atomic particle. So they will be Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay. Because Pradeshatva Gun, as you say, is a common attribute. So it is related to all 6 substances.
Okay, I think I got confused again. So us as, we're not Siddha Bhagwan, so do we have Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay? Our Dravya has Swabhav?
No, I don't, because I'm in my mode. Is it diluted mode or pure mode right now? My mode is it diluted mode or pure mode right now?
My mode is diluted.
So I don't have Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay, period. Now, let's say that now Samyakdarshi Jeev on 4th spiritual development state, does he have diluted mode or pure mode?
He's still sharing ek kshetra vagahi, એટલે એને બી સ્વભાવ વ્યંજન પર્યાય નથી. સિદ્ધ ભગવાનને જ હોય, because ek kshetra vagahi કર્મ નથી.
Because remember, and you are right, because remember in the Samyakdarshi Jeev also, there is a presence of apratyakhani karam, pratyakhanavaran karma, sanjwalan karma, 9 no karma. All those things are related. Presence of that thing is there. Even in the Aryan Bhagwan, let's say Aryan Bhagwan, let's say Mahavir Swami Bhagwan, 2500 years back, when he was walking around, or right now, Simandar Swami or Visviharman Tirthankar Bhagwan in the Mahavir Kshetra, they are having physical body. Means there is relationship with the physical body right now. And that's why they also have alienated shape modification. Only Siddha Bhagwan has no karma attached at all. Destructive or non-destructive, no karma are present in the Siddha Bhagwan, and that's why they are called natural shape modification. This makes sense now.
Yeah, this means in every pradesh, every space point, we are confused about whether we are dravya, whether we are matter, or we are potano dravya. Every single point, the confusion is very, very deep.
Yeah, and that's the reason that since time infinite, I'm not able to liberate myself, because that association is so intense, so closely related, that I think I'm the body, whether I'm in the hell or in heaven or subhuman or human. Everywhere, body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. Nigot cell also says body is mine. It has an extreme, minimal the manifestation of the knowledge attribute. But in that knowledge mode also, the Nigot Jeev says, body is mine, body is mine. And because body is mine and 18 and a half times dying and taking birth means, think about me, my body, little allergic reaction and little allergic rhinitis, and I was kind of quote unquote miserable, because body is mine. And if the death is occurring, birth is occurring, they are extremely painful state, and that cell has to die 18 times every second and take birth. That means birth and death pain. That means nigot cell intense pain. Not even the infernal cell in the infernal living being in the seventh hell. The infernal living being in a seventh hell has an amazing amount of suffering. Compared to that nigot cell appears to have nothing. It has only one sense. It has no ears, eyes, or speech or nose, so it doesn't have to worry about it. But in that touch sensation, body is mine. That kind of feeling gives intense suffering to that cell. In a seventh hell, the living being is compared to be having no suffering at all. Why? Because in a hellish soul is a five sense sentient being. So he has a choice, he has a chance, he can get some darshan there. So between the discomfort between heaven, hell, and the nigod. Nigod has an intense suffering because body is mine. So when body is born, there's a pain. Body dies, there's a pain. 18 and a half times every second. Pain, 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 pain. Okay, so here we are coming, natural shape modification. As we said, soul means a Siddhi Bhagwan, matter means one simple atomic particle, and rest medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they are pure by themselves, so they have natural shape modification. Swabhav Vyanjan Pariyaya. Now coming to the alienated shape modification, means there is an association, perceived association with the karma or with the alien objects, and that's why they are called alien shape modification. Because I have a relationship with a karma particle, and karma particle in a name karma, there are 93 subdivisions of name karma are there. And that means how high, how tall I will be, how short I will be, what kind of voice I will have it, what kind of physical structure I will have it, whether I'm going to be heavy, whether I'm going to be light, whether I'm going to be having the fame, whether I'm going to be having the disgust from all over. All different kinds of things are present in this name determining karma. There are 93 subdivisions, and because of that thing, because of that relationship, I have a gray hair, I have a darker skin, I have a certain physique, I have certain disease, and all kind of thing. because of association with the karma particle. And that's why whatever shape I'm carrying right now is called alienated shape modification. Now, in the matter particle, what's the alienated shape modification? The atomic particle, one atomic particle which is a pure, second atomic particle is pure, but when they combine together, then it becomes alienated shape modification. Two or more atomic particles combined together, that's called alienated shape modification of matter substance. So this piece of paper has an infinite atomic particle, means it is an alienated shape modification. My hair has an infinite atomic particle, so they are called alienated shape modification. And medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time, they are pure by themselves, so they don't have alienated shape modification. So these are from the shape perspective: natural shape modification, alienated shape modification. Shall we go further?
Yeah, this is kind of, I guess, obvious, but I just want to say it. So I guess we can say that like a necessary and sufficient condition for nimitic is ek kshetra vagahi. Whenever you have two dravyas ek in one space, you're going to have nimit nimitic, right?
Yes, yes.
That's just obvious. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Now we are coming to the attributive orthoparyai, means rest of the infinite attributes combined together, they can have orthoparyai. So natural substantive modification orthoparyai or swabhav orthoparyai. Now, if we take the shape out here, rest of the attribute when they are pure, when rest of the attribute of pure modification, then they are called natural attributive modification. Let's not use this for substantive word. Natural attributive modification. What does it mean? Now, let's bring Aryan Bhagwan in the picture. When we bring Aryan Bhagwan in the picture, then they have natural attributive modification because their attributes are pure. So they are, from one perspective, they are called natural attributive modification. When you are coming to alienated substantive modification, means every living being from one gunsthana to up to 10th gunsthana, then they are called alienated attributive modification because they have presence of karma relationship. That karma relationship comes to an end at the 12th gunsthana, but at the end of the 10th gunsthana, they still have those kind of things. That's why they are called alienated attributive modification. So these are the mainly division of the mode. Remember, we have lots of questions because we have started from Samaysar to start with. When we started with Samaysar to start with, that means we have made everything secondary. My faith, my faith, my faith. Eternal soul substance is me. That's it. But at the same time, there are presence of karma, the presence of physical body, the presence of the quasi-karma, means a physical body related state. This is my house because, quote unquote, this physical body wants to leave here. This is my car. This is my money. This is my business. All those things are present. One has to understand the real nature, and then we have to take the attention away from them and bring the attention, faith to the eternal soul substance, which is Samaysar. Samaysar from the faith perspective. Samaysar ignores modal perspective. But Pravachansar says, modes are present, substance is present, attributes are present, modes are present, origination is present, cessation is present, constancy is present, and all those things Pravachansar gives Dravya Bandharan, means the nature of substance's construction. The anatomy is shown in Pravachansar. So,
Kirit, you know, Subhash Bhai always says, and he still says, always has, that one should always start with Pravachansar, I think 80 to 126.
No,
before they do anything else.
93 to 126, yes, 93 to 126. And you are absolutely right, because several years back, I was same argument that you are presenting today. I was presenting same argument to Subhash Bhai when we went for walking in Songad, and he says, you know what? I wouldn't be able to explain you all the things, but let me ask you one thing. Read Gnay Tattva Pragnapan of Pravachansar, and all your doubts will get cleared. And that was a golden advice he had given to me. And I went through it. There are about close to 1,000 pages, in those stanza. And I went through it, and I said, oh my God, amazing amount of clarity it presents to us. So first we have to understand the base. This slide takes longer time because we have never discussed we have never made the discussion in that fashion, because we always have faith attribute, faith perspective, eternal soul substance, everything else is secondary. But they are present. This physical body is with me right now. Until I die, I have relationship with this physical body, so I cannot ignore. That's why Muniraj, he can give up all the possession, he can give up the clothes, he can give up the house and etc., everything. But physical body is so closely associated, so he cannot get rid of it. And so his only possession is his physical body, which he cannot detach till death. And that's why Muniraj has only physical body association. We have physical body plus physical body related quasi-karma association. And I put mindness. Mindness means this is mine, this is my, I put ownership on all the things. I was just talking to somebody else today, and for example, Asadbhut, Upcharit Asadbhut Vyavar Nai, the lowest part of the Nai, out of 4 Nais of the Vyavar Nai, Upcharit Asadbhut Vyavar Nai is the lowest form. What's the importance of it? Why should I know about it? Well, you have to know it. Why?
Because that's what we do all day long. That's why.
Because remember, this is my car, my house, my family, my money, and that kind of thing. But when I do that, when I understand that nai properly, that means my rag and dvesh from alien objects other than quote unquote mine, they are gone. So if my neighbor had a Rolls Royce, so what? I don't worry about it. I have my own car, so I don't have rag and dvesh for that Rolls Royce or that huge place he may have, or he may be Bill Gates. Who cares? That's okay. I'm not the one. My paycheck is in my money. So I reduce my rag and dvesh. I bring them to limitation. So that now also is important to understand. So and so forth. So we have to understand from all different angles. Asadbhut Upcharit, no, it's not that. No. Then why do I worry? Why do I say, oh, I like this food, oh, I don't like this food, I feel too cold today, I feel warm? Why? So Those are every aspect needs to be dissected to be understood, but ultimately to bring the aim to the eternal soul substance, and there the Samaysar is there. So these are the modal aspects we talked about, and out of which all this discussion centers around this guy in the point number 2, shape modification. Point number 2 is related to shape modification. Point number 3 will be coming to the attributive modification. So, point number 1 in that Samaysar stanza 14 is between two substances. The leaf of the lotus plant and the water are two entire substances separate from each other, substance perspective. Now we are going to talk in this second point, we are going to talk about the shape modification. It means a Vyanjan Paryay is separate from the eternal soul substance. The third point will be attributive perspective. The soul is separate from that. Fourth point will come in which it says division of the attribute also is not the pure nature of the soul. And fifth point will say deluding mode is also not my true nature. So these are the 5 points we'll be coming across. From Dravya Apeksha means two substances separate. Modal perspective means the Vyanjan Paryay perspective. Then Artha Paryay perspective. Then divisional of the attribute perspective, and then diluted mode perspective. These are 5 points we'll be going through. So we are on the second point right now, which is related to this guy, this spatial modification, Vyanjan Paryay, shape modification, Dravya Paryay. So we are on that one. So this second point, second thing is talks about shape related things are separate from me. They are telling us shape-related things are not the eternal soul substance. And what are the example is given, and then the principle is given there. How is the time? Let's see, the time is there. 15 minutes are there. Okay, so let me try to throw something quick. Okay. Okay, so now over here it says spatial modification, Vyanjan Paryay, mode of a given substance, or Dravya Paryay. So these are the 4 things we are talking. So these are the things we are talking about. And now what happens in that one? Let's see. Natural shape modification, Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay. Who has Swabhav Vyanjan Paryay? Means substance having shape without any relationship with any other substance is known as natural shape modification, which is Siddha Bhagwan,
or Adharmastika,
Akash Kal, and single atomic particle, right? So they are natural shape modification. Alienated shape modification, they have relationship with Nimit Nimitik Sambandh with the alien object, and that's why living being having shape of human, infernal, etc., etc., etc. That's from the human, from the living perspective, and from the matter perspective. 2 or more atomic particle association is called alienated shape modification. So that's in essence what we talked in the previous slide. So now, Swabhav Artha Paryay, we will talk this one right now, so that way it goes out of her way. Natural attributive modification of Swabhav Artha Paryay means substance means attribute, mode from the attribute occurring without any instrumental cause of any other thing, because living beings omniscience mode. The omniscience is a pure mode of knowledge having no relationship with any karma. It's a pure knowledge. Same is a pure perception. Same is a pure conduct, same is a pure bliss. All those things will be natural attributive modes. Then alienated attributive modification, vibhav arthaparya, means they have relationship with the instrumental cause, and over here living beings rag and dvesh, because when rag and dvesh is there, then there is a karma associated with that, deluding karma associated with that. Same thing will be matignan and sutagnan, that there's going to be knowledge obscuring karma present there. Then there'll be perplexity, means the bliss attribute will be in the altered fashion. Any substance, any attribute in an altered fashion, then they are called alienated